Hey everybody, it's Joe Buffington. Welcome to the first Thursday Thinker of 2021. I want to tell you guys a story about an adventure I had. And I think looking at the beginning of the new year, you're almost looking at going on an adventure. And if the adventure we had in 2020 is any indication, we're probably looking at somewhat of a similar journey into 2021. And so I know some folks who are coming into 2021 with some anxiety, sometimes obviously there's going to be some excitement, but I think a lot of us are a little bit of waiting for the next shoe to drop sometimes, it feels like. And I'll tell you this story about an adventure I went on, a real life adventure. With about 8 of my friends, we went on a caving experience in West Virginia with a guide. And I had this idea in my mind that we'd be going through these caves. You go through these wide open, massive openings, and it'd be, stalactites and stalagmites all over and bats, and it'd be great, and, a lot of great space. Well, drive out to West Virginia, awesome car ride. Everyone's telling jokes, everyone's getting ready, knowing that there's this great adventure ahead of us. We walk down this little trail, and then we get to the opening of the cave. And the opening of the cave was about the size of a manhole. It was a little hole in the ground that you literally crawled through to get to the first chamber. So right off the bat, it was just pure, hold on, this just was not meeting my expectations of what was going to happen. So I was probably the third person to go in. There was another 5 guys who were coming in after me. So crawl in on my belly on this little tiny space and come into a cave area, chamber they call it, that was about as big as, let's say, maybe a minivan. So 8 of us were going to pack into this little space before we crawled through to the next chamber. And I'm in there, I'm the third person in there, and there's more guys coming through this little hole, and it is dark, it is dank, there is very little room, there's no room to breathe. All of a sudden, I start hyperventilating. I'm getting nervous, right? What is going to happen next, right? Get me out of here. And the one thing the guide did is he turned to me and he said, hey, we're going to be we're going to be going down this next little rock face over here. I need you to do me a favor. And I'm like, all right, how about get me out of here? And he goes, here, take these ropes. And he goes, start untangling them. So I got to work. The ropes were all tied up, start untangling them. For a brief minute, it got my mind off of the fear that was happening. Right? And what got my mind off of the fear that was happening in that cave at that time was action. So for a lot of us right now, maybe we're not as busy as we were probably a month ago, because over the last couple of weeks, a lot of business hadn't necessarily been created. We may have business coming forward, but right now we're kind of figuring out what do we need to do next. So I'd encourage you, create an action plan, get into a routine right now, because it'll help take your mind kind of off of, well, what's next? Some of the, sometimes it's unnecessary anxiety and fear that happens. But again, I find that doing action helps us get through these tough times. So if you need help with an action plan, I'm sitting down with folks. I've got a consultation checklist and a GPS, goals, plans, strategies list that kind of creates sometimes a weekly plan of action, but also how to tackle some of the projects that we're working on right now. And sometimes it just starts with untangling that first set of ropes. So if you need any help, please feel free to reach out to me. Have a great Thursday. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. Happy New Year. See y'all. Bye-bye.